So for the first time since the end of the 2018 season, the Baltimore Orioles are looking for a new manager, as after 6.5 years of Brandon Hyde, 2 playoff appearances, a 100-win season, and a division title, a disappointing season led to his firing, where after a 15-28 start, they canned him. Tony Manzolino, the third base coach, then finished off the season and actually did decent enough. I mean, the Orioles finished 60-59, a winning record under Manzolino. But let's be honest here, I don't think he would be right for the full-time managerial job. Like, he came in a tough situation and also lost his first 6 games as manager, but he really kept the troops in it and had them fighting. And for the most part, it made the Orioles exciting again. We even had a game last year where we put up over 20 runs. That's the first time I've ever seen that. It was the first time since 2000, just the third time in team history. So Tony Manzolino had the boys cooking for a little bit, but obviously it's 75-87 after back-to-back 90-plus win seasons, 2 playoff appearances and a division title. The season was a disappointment. Yes, I do look back at our offseason and think to ourselves, if we would have just have done more. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, well, we tried to trade for Dylan Cease, or Max Fried was asking for too much money and we settled on, Charlie Morton and Tyler O'Neill. Like, I did like the Tyler O'Neill signing. I thought, okay, when healthy this guy can hit, and he showed upside last year, and he is looking to pick up his option, so he's still going to be on the team going into next year, whether we like it or not. But at least we know with guys like Dylan Beavers and Jeremiah Jackson, if an injury happens, those two can step in because they played nicely when their name was called. But we're here to talk about the managerial candidates for Baltimore, or at least one, because there is one guy that I hope the Orioles definitely do go after. I have heard that we're in on Albert Pujols, or at least going to speak to Albert Pujols about potentially becoming the manager. And although I like that, I think it would just be out of namesake. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's because Pujols would be a first-time manager. The guy I'm about to talk about would also be a first-time manager. But we see the all-time greats a lot of the times not be great managers. I'm not saying that Pujols can't be a good manager. I think he can be because, he knows how to lead the clubhouse, and, he just seems to be able to reach people. Very good leader in general. But there's one guy out there that knows Baltimore more than a lot of these managers probably do outside of Brandon Hyde, who's currently looking for a job, and to be honest, probably will get one somewhere. And the guy we're here to talk about is Ryan Flaherty, who might be a familiar name to those of you like myself who are Orioles fans, because from 2012 to 2017, he played for the Baltimore Orioles and even finished his career out in Atlanta and Cleveland in his final 2 years before calling it a career after 8 seasons. And yeah, you look at his stats: 215 career batting average, 37 homers, 142 RBIs. He didn't really have a good OBP or anything like that, but what made him reliable was that he was willing to play anywhere and everywhere, wherever you needed him. Early in his career, he was mainly filling in for when Manny Machado was hurt at third base, and then would come in at shortstop on days J.J. Hardy needed a day off or would get hurt, and he played every position but catcher in his career. He even pitched in one game for the Orioles back in 2016, but, he knows what winning in Baltimore is like. I mean, he went to 3 playoff teams, won a division title with the team in 2014, and contributed mostly to those teams in general. I mean, 2013, he had a career-high 10 homers, also having a career-high 224 batting average, and when you actually look at his playoff stats, they're actually better. He hit 265 in the playoffs, so that was interesting to see. But ever since he's retired, he has decided to take up coaching, and I believe he's been the hitting coach for the Padres, and then I think the Cubs recently. I could be wrong. I know how one way or another he was associated with the Padres as a coach, and now he is a hot commodity to maybe become a manager, and that says a lot because he's still 39 years old. He won't turn 40 until July 27th, so he's still a pretty young guy to be getting these managerial options here, but that just goes to show you the leader he is. And the Orioles aren't necessarily going to be going into next year rebuilding. I mean, yeah, they had a bad season last year, finished in last place, but it wasn't like those 100-loss seasons where you were just kind of like, all right, we need to tear things down, we need to start over. We still have a competitive window. Injuries hit us out the wazoo last year, and with little depth that we had, it definitely took a toll on us in the long run, and once we got healthier toward the end of the year, we saw saw things start to kind of come together. And that's what I really liked seeing toward the end of last year, was the fightness. And when we got healthy, the players like Kyle Bradish, were one of the ones that was supposed to come up and do his thing, and he did. The only one I'm still very worried about is Felix Bautista, and maybe even Grayson Rodriguez, because he didn't pitch at all last year when he was supposed to be back sometime before the All-Star break, but that never happened, so who knows how serious that injury is now. But Ryan Flaherty, to me, is just the perfect candidate. It's almost like if Adam Jones was out there trying to become a manager, like, why wouldn't the Orioles look at Adam Jones? I mean, he knows the Orioles more than Ryan Flaherty does. He's a Orioles legend, Hall of Famer, and with the way he runs things and the leader that he is, it would just be a perfect fit. And Ryan Flaherty, he's not like a legend per se, but he's very well known in the Orioles community. He was a fan favorite. He came up and had some clutch moments for us on some really good competitive teams when he was given a shot as a Rule 5 draft pick in 2012. To me, he's the one that we got to go out and hire. There's still other good managerial candidates, because I know the Padres are also looking to, potentially hire Flaherty as a new manager since Mike Schilt retired, which makes sense because, again, he's got ties with them too. But, let's be honest, Ryan Flaherty as the Orioles manager just makes too much sense for it not to happen. Pujols would be cool, I guess, but again, I feel like you would just be getting him off of the name rather than, what can he bring to this team in the city, and how familiar is he with the team in the city. I mean, this guy literally played for you for 6 years, whereas Pujols, yeah, he competed against us for a long time, but, I would rather have the guy that played for us for 6 years and know how Orioles baseball works, rather than a guy who's just kind of, been there, done that, and been around a long time, but I feel like the Albert Pujols thing is just off a namesake, and that's really all that it amounts to on that one. But I mean, hey, that's just my overall thoughts. I might make another video where I look at some of the upcoming MLB free agents as the season is coming to a close. Tonight, the Mariners and Blue Jays play each other in the ALCS to determine who goes to the World Series to play the Dodgers. So we are getting much closer to the season ending and the off-season starting, and I just kind of want to go in and look at the free agents that I think could fit the Orioles well. Not necessarily saying they're going to get them or going to get all of these free agents, but the ones that kind of make sense and the Orioles might have a realistic chance at getting, rather than some of the reaches that people want out there and all this kind of stuff where it's like, okay, we're not playing MLB The Show with the budget turned off. Let's be real here, and let's be honest with ourselves. We can afford some pretty decent players in free agency, but we don't have the resources to go buck wild. But that's for another day, another video. Until then, I would like to hear your comments below. Do you think Ryan Flaherty would be the perfect fit for the Orioles manager? He's a young guy, going to be managing a young team, someone familiar with the team, had played here, fan favorite. The dominoes just seem to be falling for Ryan Flaherty to come back. Or who do you think would be a better managerial candidate than Ryan Flaherty if you don't think he would, be a good manager for us at all, or if he just decides not to become our manager? Who else is out there that you can think, okay, he can come in and manage the Orioles pretty quickly? Because again, we're not looking for a manager that's going to come in and take a couple years, want to rebuild the team. No, we're probably going to take the Brewers approach of a couple years ago and retool and continue to have our, contending process be longer because of the way we're doing things. But until then, that's it for me. Stay safe out there, and I will catch you all in the next one.